love the Harbhajan Singh lulz. Just kidding.
Yeah. I mean, Harbhajan Singh's not playing the IPL this year, so maybe he has time to quiz. Who knows?
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay. Round two coming up. Here's the first question. Look carefully. So these are the only official T20s played by someone who hoped a good performance could get him bought at the auction. So you can see a bunch of games at Harare. So despite being away from the game so long, he priced himself in the highest bracket, but went unsold. So who is this famous person? A lot of correct answers already. I think this is someone has said Ray Price, Henry Olonga, Andy Fla, Brendan Taylor, Kevin Curran, Hamilton, Muscatza, Heat Streak. Let's check what the answer was. This is indeed, a lot of y'all went with Zimbabwe players, and that was actually the tricky part here. This was indeed Brian Charles Lara. So those of y'all who got it correct, good job. He actually went to Zimbabwe to play a bunch of games. He, in fact, even played for the Mumbai champs in the ICL. Gautam, any memories of the ICL?
Lots of memories. I mean, no matter what people might say, that's the first time we actually saw the colored clothing and all this happening, and wondering if it's something here to stay. Yes, it had another side to it, but everyone now starts making lists of how long did it take for the first ICL player to be part of the IPL, and who all actually made it. Someone like a Stuart Binney comes to mind immediately.
In fact, like Ganesham saying, recently this video went viral where Mayanti Langa sort of put Stuart Binney on the spot asking about his marriage. And you can see Stuart Binney just blushing so much in that video. Quite a cute video, I thought. Incidentally, Lara recently played in Mumbai for West Indies in an exhibition game. So just before the pandemic. Honestly, looks in great touch.
I was in Australia for the Women's T20 World Cup, and during that game there was that bushfire charity match. Lara was there, Sachin was there. Didn't play in the match, but he coached one of those teams. But Lara was just looking imperious. End of that game, there was fun where Elise Perry bowled an over to Sachin. So that was a pretty fun day, which I did not expect to see on the schedule when I went to Australia for the World Cup.
Okay, moving on to the next question. This is an interesting story about Brendan McCullum. So he actually failed a drug test during an IPL game in Delhi in 2016. So he was an asthma patient who for that day needed to take an extra dose, and he had to take the excess salbutamol. But his reason was considered genuine. So what specific reason did he have to take that extra dose? Right, read the question carefully. Okay, we have a lot of correct answers coming in. I think people have, and we have closing pound. People are saying Dharamsala altitude, not quite. But
Monish guessed smoking or being a smoker.
Okay.
I suspect most of the right answers are coming from everybody who said they're a Mumbai fan and probably sitting in Mumbai. And you'll see why.
All right, folks, going to the answer slide right now. This is indeed the key part of the question was it was in Delhi, and it was at a time of year where the pollution levels were very high. So because he's an asthma patient, and due to the excessive pollution levels, he had to take this, which is a kind of strange reason. Have you guys heard of any other such strange reasons like this? I can actually think of one in the world of tennis, which slightly NSFW, but Richard Gasquet, he failed a drug test, right? And he tested for cocaine, but he later claimed he was at a nightclub where someone kissed him and he ingested some cocaine, and that's how it was in his body. But again, no comment.
Not in terms of failing a drug test, but in terms of turning up for one really unfortunate story again from this T20 World Cup for women. After the final, when Australia had beaten India quite thoroughly, and the entire team was dancing on stage along with Katy Perry, one member of the Australian team was not there, Rachel Haynes, because she had to give the mandatory drug test. So she missed out on the entire Katy Perry concert where all her teammates were on stage because she was sitting essentially with a cup in her hand.
Man, that's so unfortunate. Okay, Prasop says fishing trip of Simon's as well. Did he miss something, Prasop? I'm not sure of the story. Did he miss a drug test as well? In fact, now mask wearing is mainstream, but Sri Lanka team were the true hipsters who made it cool back in 2017 with this look. A lot of teams have actually done this when playing in Delhi. Even Bangladesh made this cool in 2019, but now of course all of us are doing it.
All I can say is it's bad, but it's not so bad. I've lived there for 20 years, and you can do without a mask. Not these days.
It grows on you.
It does.
Okay, so I have a feeling this one is a question most of y'all will know, but again, think carefully. So This is an iconic moment in itself, but what iconic moment happened after this? Something that's fairly rare that we don't see too often. But this was an iconic moment in itself. What happened after this one? Someone says Shah Rukh Khan.
A lot
I
of
don't
Bangalore
think he was
people in the
involved.
chat.
Yeah. Someone says he broke his nose. No, not quite. This is not when Srishant got slapped by Bhaji. Iconic moment. So, of course, this is Aditya Tare. In fact, a lot of you all said this was your favorite moment of all time from the IPL when Mumbai chased 190 odd in like 14 overs. So let's see what the answer is. And a lot of you all got it correct. This was indeed a rare moment where Dravid lost his cool and he threw his cap in disgust. So you can see the gif there. Not something that you see very often, Gautam and Snehal.
And you've got this to add to it as well. Threw a chair after a defeat to England in Mumbai, which I believe this is a little secret that you got from a member of the family.
Yes, this was part of an article that his wife wrote when he retired, about how he's very cool usually, but, there was a time actually that this happened. Snehal, has Mithali ever lost her cool? She's very calm and zen and reads a book on the sidelines sometimes.
She is like absolute control when it comes to showing her emotions. She is just next level. She will take it out in a team meeting properly, saying exactly what she wants to say. But on the field, showing her emotions, no.
And do you think that leads to like a different atmosphere in the dressing room, Snehal, like having like a cool captain?
Yeah, so it has both its pluses and minuses. For example, I played under both Jhulan Goswami and Mithali Raj. So Juludi is this very expressive character. You know exactly what she's thinking, and she will say it when she's thinking it. And you know that whatever it is, she said it, but it's just in the moment. So it has both sides. You know exactly what that person is thinking. Whereas with Mithali Di, you are wondering, and then you get clarity the next day, if unfortunately you do.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's the emotional bong. Chill.
Yeah, as Monish says, with reference to Dravid showing the chair had it coming. India really collapsed and didn't do well. Yes, Dravid probably would have apologized to that cap to Abhinav. Anyway, on that note, let's move on to the next question. Okay, so Knights and Angels was a TV show in 2008 with the aim to identify cheerleaders for KKR in 2009. Why couldn't the winner participate in IPL 2009? So we need, again, slightly specific answer. Someone said winner was from Pakistan. Nope.
I'm only looking at Murli Karthik looking most embarrassed sitting there.
Honestly, Ganguly also looks like he's like, what am I doing? This wasn't in my contract.
That's the other side of it.
Okay. So let's actually see the answer. So a lot of you all went with they didn't get their visa/passport in time, which is not what we were looking for. This, in fact, is a lot of you all got it correct that South Africa actually said that only South African cheerleaders were allowed in 2009. So the selection happened in India, but unfortunately none of them could do because they had to be of South African origin. So that is the correct answer. A lot of people actually mentioned Jacques Callis' sister. Yes, indeed, she was a cheerleader for CSK, but that wasn't the right answer.
I don't think we're missing anything this year.
Yeah, I think so too.
I thought you'd say that, Snehal.
Okay. Monish actually has a very interesting fact, which says Quinton de Kock met his wife, who was a cheerleader during one of the Champions League T20s. Oh, is that true? I didn't know that, but very interesting nonetheless. In fact, recently, this year, during commentary, JP Dumini actually credited Quinton de Kock's wife for bringing stability into his life, which has improved his performance on field, etc. So there you go, full circle.
Maybe she made him speak.
Why, he doesn't talk usually?
No, I mean, if I've interacted with two of the most silent cricketers on earth, the leader, of course, is just one man, Sunil Narayan, and in number 2 in the world is Quinton de Kock. He's very different, obviously, with his teammates and all that. I'm purely talking from interacting with media and others' point of view.
Sunil Narayan is like, even when he gets like a wicket and has won a match, zero, nothing, no emotion.
I had a 2.5-minute conversation with him this time in Trinidad. I wish I'd recorded it, something for posterity. 2.5 minutes consecutively.
But how much of that were you speaking, Gautam?
No, he spoke. We were in a lift and the lift got stuck.
Nice. I think you bring out the best in him, Gautam.
Has to be extraordinary circumstances to get him to talk.
All right. So from cheerleaders, let's move on to the next question. Slightly long one. So take your time to read the question. You'll see four images, and each corresponding to a player. So the first one was born in Pune with the name Leila, and then went to the USA. The second one was an Arjuna Award winner in 2006, whose father was a golfer and mother was a rally driver, and also has participated in Khatron Ke Khiladi. The third one is someone whose parents came to the UK in 70s, has graduated in biochem and molecular bio, and retired on the same day as Dravid. And the last one is born in England, moved to Australia. Father is West Indian and was actually introduced to cricket by Peter Hanscom's dad, and retired after beating India in the World Cup final. So these were the first four in IPL. Who/what are we speaking to? Someone says it's the first four purple cap holders. Again, good guess, but not quite. Not the first four overseas players, not the first associate nation players. Let's actually go to the answer. This I thought was a very interesting question. Manish, all your question. So these are actually the first women commentators in the IPL. We were, of course, speaking of Anjum Chopra, Isa Guha, Lisa Stalekar, who was born in Pune, and Melanie Jones. So a few of you are saying good one. Snehal, I'm sure you played with all of them.
I'm not missing the cheerleader. I am missing most of these because the IPL got rescheduled. Commitments meant that few of the regulars could not make it. Lisa Stalekar did half the IPL. She's gone back now for the WBBL, and I am feeling the difference. I want to know your thoughts. I mean, the guys who are listening in the audience, the people who like that, the insight, the additional trivia that they provide, and you guys as well on the panel. Want to know your thoughts as to whether you are feeling the difference.
Yeah, well, I'm obviously going to be writing and stuff. I think it's the fact is all four of them. What makes a difference is their points of view, not who they are, what they look like, and anything else. And that's the most important part of it. And I think Snehal will agree with that. I've worked with all four of them. In fact, I will be meeting Lisa in exactly 1 minute's time, which is what I also needed to pop in and say that I've got an IPL pre-show starting in 7 minutes with Lisa, and I will have to duck out very shortly. But yeah, it's as I said, we have a great time together. Mel is a legend. I interviewed Lisa well before she had done her first stint, and she chased me for weeks after that saying, can I have a copy of that interview, because I want to use that to show people I can actually express myself. And Anjum, of course, doesn't need to be told when to start or stop. She's legend in her own right.
Absolutely. I definitely agree with what you both say. People, in fact, like Jayanta said, I met Lisa at a CSK game in Chennai last year. One of the most polite people I've ever met. Nice story there. Okay. So let's go to the last question. Gautam has a show to attend. So last question. Why does CSK play in yellow and not in black, which is predominantly the color of the Dravidian movement? Now, again, nice, interesting funda about this. So why does CSK play in yellow? Okay. Someone is saying KKR chose black first. Interesting guess. Many of you all are getting it correct. Someone saying Heat in Chennai. Actually, very, very good guess. I love that guess, Rajat. Have the lightest color possible so that, Chennai Heat doesn't sap you. A lot of people actually are saying it's the color of the Australian team and they wanted that winning culture. Someone saying autos, which is another great guess. Many of you all got it correct. This is a cool story behind the color, which is actually the color of India Cements. If you see India Cements, their corporate color is yellow, and their cement bags also are yellow. So they have chosen the exact same color. In fact, look carefully at the crown on the India Cements bag. And that's the same crown that you will see on the Chennai Super Kings jersey as well. And some, in fact, even say that the Super Kings is a reference to the India Cements brand, Coromandel King. Does anyone know why Kochi Tuskers chose a horrendous color for their jerseys? That's an interesting story in itself as well. Gautam, Snehal, do you have any preference in IPL jerseys?
Can I butt in for a start and say it wasn't horrendous? I loved it.
Why am I not surprised, Gautam?
Yeah, thank you, Snehal. It was super cool. Never mind what else happened with them. But I think the jersey colors were just so vibrant. Purple and yellow. I mean, purple and orange, sorry.
Like a lot of you are saying, this was in fact because of the orange and purple cap, a reference to the most runs and most wickets scored. Gautam, Snehal, do you have any favorite India jersey of all time? And this is a topic everyone loves talking about. So
1992, without a doubt.
That's the one, 100%.
1999.
Oh, you liked the logo close up, did you, Snehal?
Yeah, I went. This is something I probably still laugh at. I got one of those shirts in through one of those Pepsi contests, and the last day of school, where you are allowed to wear civil clothes, I wore that to school.
By the way, just to add to that, Snehal, I was probably the one who wrote the copy for that because in 1999, I was working on that brand for the World Cup. I was in advertising then. So we were part of all
straight fire
stuff. So I was responsible in a minute way for you getting that shirt.
Small world. Snehal, do you still have a collection of the India jerseys that you played in?
Yeah, I've got all of them neatly folded, kept.
I think I should at this point very quickly say a quick goodbye because we are literally live.
All right. Thanks, Gautam. Thank you so much. Pleasure as always.
Thanks so much, Gautam.
Enjoy.
We'll see you on the television soon. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.